to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob. Let's talk about some games.
Oh, yes.
Or hometown games, or non-hometown games.
It's time for some traveling. Who doesn't love a good travel? Except for NBA refs.
This is true.
I take it back. They like traveling. They don't call it.
MMA refs. Some have to stay in Vegas, and then next day they're in Singapore.
Listen, Singapore is an amazing place. First off, that's great. Sign me up.
Oh, it's fantastic. But if you have to go one night in Vegas and 2 days later in Singapore,
oh darn! These are problems. I'll take it a heartbeat.
Yeah, but it's not like you're staying in Singapore for a week or the weekend. You're staying there for like 24 hours.
That's
after getting jet lag.
That's fine. I'll do it. I like Singapore. It's fun. Alrighty, guys. Anyway, we're not going to Singapore this year for a game. We'd love to go to Singapore for a game. It'd be awesome if the NFL had a Singapore game going on. But we are going to go over all the American cities that we're going to be having the Giants visit this season here, because if you guys are like us, every so often it's nice to step out, go to a different place, see a Giants game that's not at MetLife, because let's be honest, we love the Giants, we hate the stadium.
And the cost at times.
It's the vanilla bowl, because it's about as boring as could possibly be. That's what.
Yeah, but it's like your vanilla that 3 flavors with extra toppings.
No, it's not. It's like
no. That's what you pay for.
Oh yeah, you pay it. You pay for the banana split, but you get the vanilla bowl ice cream with a free medium Coke.
As in London, you get the dip. You pay for the dip and get just the ice cream.
So let's go over here.
Well, that's what a sundae is called in England.
Pudding. It's a pudding. Spotted dick.
No. When you ask for a dip, a hot fudge dick, you're asking for a sundae.
Well, I'm not going there.
I mean, you can get it honest at the team, I guess.
I'm not going there. All right, where we can go though, the first road game we have is September 17th. To going to Glendale, Arizona, as the Giants face the Arizona Cardinals. And I want to say this. This is a good game to go to, because let's be honest, if the Giants don't win this one, wow, this is going to be a rough season. Like, this is like potentially the worst team in all of football this year.
This past year.
This year, I'm saying coming up. No, this year coming up. Keep in mind, Kyler Murray's still injured. J.J. Watt retired. D-Hop is gone. This team is a shell of what it was last year when it was crap.
Yeah, last year on paper they were supposed to be a good team, and they won the total ball.
So, yeah, I mean, for those who haven't been to Arizona, I'll say this as far as the area goes overall. The thing that you have to go see when you're over there is, of course, the big hole in the ground. The Grand Canyon. It's a big hole in the ground. That's what it is. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a 3.5-hour drive from State Farm Stadium to the Grand Canyon. Well worth it if you're going to, the Grand Canyon for the day at that point. You have the Skywalk there. They have, I believe the western side has that. You can go down on a donkey into the Grand Canyon. They even have campground and all you can do. Oh yeah, ride that ass.
Starting hot tonight. Talking about dicks and ass.
From hot fudge dicks to riding an ass. You're gonna get us canceled, Rob.
Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong with what I said. I talked about an animal and to some people, a very delicious dessert.
I'm not going near that one either. Anyway, back to the big hole in the ground. Back to the big hole in the ground. So I went there actually about 20 years ago. I went there at this point. Actually, 23 years ago. Ooh, I'm old. I'm so old. I could say, with all due knowledge on it, that the best thing to do, honestly, is go when the sun is going down. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That pink sky, the red rock all around you. A word of caution I do always give people that go to the Grand Canyon: be very cautious. It is a big hole in the ground. You can fall into said hole in the ground. It happens all the time. When you get there, you'll see a sign in 10 languages saying, be careful, you could fall into this hole in the ground.
And also, if you're taking that 11.5, 12-hour drive out there, or taking a 3.5 hour flight, 4 hours, depends on if you're coming or going and what time of year.
11.5 hour drive? Wait, hold on. 11.5 hour drive.
How long is the drive to?
3.5 hours, I said, to the Grand Canyon. You're skipping.
No, I thought you were talking about. Actually, the drive's got to be like 20 hours.
Oh, what, to the Arizona? No one's driving to Arizona. They're flying. They're not crazy people like you.
All right, well,
you're flying. You're flying, and it's gonna be it's a nice flight.
Yeah,
be long enough to get a little nap in.
Or you have 2 drinks and take and you're go as soon as you get off.
2 drinks and a Xanax, whatever. However you feel on flying.
Well, they're only, because it's a short flight, they only serve you 2 drinks. I landed in Phoenix. My father lives outside Prescott Valley.
Yeah.
So it is a nice area, and it's also really cool to see the Native Americans, what they did to survive. They built into the mountains besides the Grand Canyon. Like, you could see almost old school apartment buildings, if you will, built into limestone.
What's nice, though, too, is if you live in the Northeast, like I'm assuming most Giant fans do, or even people like me in Florida, Arizona is a completely different landscape than what you see back home. And that's one thing that's very nice about it. I'll also say, if you ever get the chance to swim in one of the lakes, it's a pretty cool feeling as well, because you have a red rock desert, and there's this lake just randomly filled in there. So they're all man-made, obviously. But like I said, it's a good place. The other suggestion I can give people, again, it's a different landscape, a different climate entirely, basically, than what you're used to on the East Coast here. They also have a massive Desert Botanical Garden. So if you like cactuses and that kind of stuff there, it's a 140-acre garden, 50,000 plants at this botanical garden. So, definitely has a few cacti, as I believe cacti is the pluralizer.
Cacti is the plural.
Yes, there we go.
You are correct.
There we go. It happens. I'm done. I was correct once today. I'm now done. We got a couple of comments here also from Ben Cornett.
Singapore.
He said, can we Singapore jingle about Saquon's current situation? # weird pun. Listen, Saquon's still not poor. He's still the top 10 current running backs on career earnings, by the way, because of how big his rookie contract was. Ben says, I'd rather see the Grand Canyon than the Arizona Cardinals personally. Listen, if you're a Giants fan, you'd love to go into that game. Like I said, you get to see your team beat. It's like almost when the Texans came into town last season. It's a game that you fully expect to win. It's a lot of money to go to see a game when it's not even in your local area. So it's nice to go to one knowing that you should probably win.
Yeah.
Ben also says, use a hover round to scoot through the Grand Canyon when you're there, by the way. Good times. That's a good
advice.
There's so many different things. So let's be honest. There's only so many things you can do with a big hole in the ground. They're determined to figure out every single way to make you enjoy that hole in the ground. And if you're like me, I go to these things, same as I saw something else we're going to talk about here later on. I don't want to give it away. But when you see certain things that are beautiful in nature, you sit and you watch it for 5 minutes.
And I'm done.
Exactly. How long can you sit there and stare at a hole in the ground? I'm sorry.
It's also nice, too, because it's if you're a nerd that likes to look at the night sky like myself, there's no light pollution out there because it's a giant hole in the ground. They don't pump out the light like you do over New Jersey in this tri-state Northeast area, and you actually see the Milky Way. You actually see stars in the sky besides the moon. Well, the moon's not a star, but it's less of your body. But anyway, that's besides the point.
I believe the moon is called a satellite, right? Is it a satellite?
Technically, yes, because it orbits around another object.
Yeah, see? Aha! I learned things in school. All righty.
You got 2 things right today. Also, Drew was talking about... Also, Drew, you said it's also wonderful. It's beautiful out. There's also cougars out there, so be careful when you're hanging out the night
Like
time.
Point to Sarah in Red Bank.
Not like there's more of the other cougars out there. There might be a couple of the Buenos Aires
I was
cougars out
unaware that the Grand Canyon was afflicted with 40-year-olds plus single women. This might help the tourism if they let this thing out.
Listen, the United States government, if you see a flux in the Grand Canyon tours, pay this guy.
John Anderson, you think we'd stay longer since us guys like holes, LOL.
Yeah, but it's a big hole. It's not the same.
You wouldn't feel when you're going in.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up, our second road trip we go stay on the West Coast here. From what I heard, the Giants requested this to be this way because they don't have to fly back to New York. They can just stay on the West Coast here. So just 4 days later, on Thursday Night Football, following that Arizona trip, is September 21st against the San Francisco 49ers. Now,
49.
for those who are road warriors and might be renting a car for the Arizona trip, it's an 11.5-hour drive. I did look it up. Maybe that's why I was thinking maybe you heard the 11.5-hour and you saw that there because I had that in the notes here. 11.5-hour drive to go to San Francisco and I literally just did State Farm Stadium to Levi Stadium. And that's what it was. It came up 11.5 hours.
Yeah, what time of day did you do that? Because that also depends. Because the Frisco traffic, the Bay Area traffic, is nothing to mess with. But if you're in the area,
science, damn it.
But if you do go out there, what I do recommend when you fly out, you land, you find your hotel, you hop on the BART system, which is the Bay Area transportation or railroad system. Technically, BART is Bay Area Railroad Transportation.
Yes,
BART.
I have heard of that. That's one that I haven't been to, Rob. I think you said you were in San Francisco before. That's one of the few spots here I haven't been to yet, except for the airport. I was in the airport twice. That doesn't count, though.
I've been in the airport a lot. So my mom was born and raised outside of. Yeah, it's nice. My mom was born and raised outside of Sacramento, and my uncle lives in the Bay Area. So I travel out there. I try to get out there once a year. It's been a couple of years, but
is it as hilly as people describe? Every time I see people tell me there's got to be hills everywhere. The hills are alive with the sound of the Niners fans.
I mean, what's that Clint Eastwood movie when he's sitting there with the car going? Bing! That's true.
Is that Dirty Harry?
Was it Dirty Harry? I don't know. That's before.
You know what's sad? You know what movie I really think of when we talk about San Francisco? And this is gonna make me. I'm waiting for John Anderson afterwards to give a sly comment when I say this. He will. The Princess Diaries with Anne Hathaway.
Never seen it.
Spectacular movie.
I have to watch it tonight.
It's on Disney Plus, along with the sequel.
It's also what's it called? Full House in San Francisco.
Yeah, Full House. Actually, the house just sold recently. They were at there.
But if you're also out there as well, this time of year it shouldn't be too bad. Once you go in October, it's like New York City. It's a very windy city, and if you're walking in the sun,
that's Chicago. You're thinking of.
Well, New York, it's windy because you got a lot of the big high rises, and when the wind blows, it whips around. Same thing with San Francisco. Only you get the north winds coming south, so you got very cold air. Yeah. And it blows and whips around just the bay and blows off into the buildings. So when you're walking in the sun and it's 75 degrees out, it feels nice because it's just hitting you. As soon as the shade of the building hits you, it's cold.
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm putting a hoodie on.
So we got a few spots here listed of what to do, what to see when you're in San Francisco. Very first thing, it takes 2 seconds to see, but you got to see it if you're there. As John Anderson does come in with Princess Diaries, what the hell? The first thing is, of course, the Golden Gate Bridge. You got to see the Golden Gate Bridge if you're in San Francisco. You got to go ahead and see the Alcatraz as well. I mean, that's as well known as it gets. Now,
you got to do two things when you go visit Alcatraz. There's a couple things you got to do. You could actually go and do the tour there and walk in the prison and do everything. And they'll show you shanks made out of toilet paper and all that. But it was also really cool is there's a lot of local captains down there that you can just walk up and they're like, hey, $40 for a 3-hour tour. They don't take you on the island, but they take you around Alcatraz and all around the Bay Area. And it's a big beach, just kind of sunset cruise thing. So it's one cute thing you do in San Francisco that's nice.
I mean, Alcatraz is one of those things that I should have thought I would talk about movies, because we could have said The Rock. The Rock is a spectacular movie.
It's great. Or Escape from Alcatraz, talking about
Ooh. So many Alcatraz movies. You know, one other thing you got to do when you're in San Francisco, of course, is the culinary delight that is San Francisco. And of course, I mean rice-a-roni. No, San Francisco is known for two things, and it's one of the reasons that I do have on my list of places I want to visit. Fresh seafood is one thing. Like,
so good.
Yeah, like seafood.
But you grew up in New Jersey, you get fresh seafood too, man.
But it's still it's different type of fish there you're gonna have. It's the Pacific Ocean.
A little bit, yeah.
Fish. The other thing is visiting Chinatown and having the authentic Chinese food and everything there. Oh, there's Sparkle Wharf, wrong wharf. That's the wharf.
Yeah.
Sparkle Wharf's one here in Tampa.
Yeah, no, they have the Wharf District, which is connects to Chinatown down there. But also, if you're walking the piers, which you'll go across the wharf in Chinatown, you're doing the piers. I want to say it's Pier 49. Takes you right out. You sit out there, just like you said, you're fresh seafood.
Oh yeah, I'm all about fresh seafood. You know
it's
that.
Not far from. I don't believe it's far from the park. And if you go this time of year, you plan your trip out right. You can watch the New York Giants and the San Francisco Giants play.
Oh, both Giants, a land of giants. But San Francisco is often credited for the birth of American style Chinese food. It's huge in that area. So you have, and the Chinatown, everything I've seen looks absolutely amazing. So it's definitely something I'd want to walk through and just eat my way through that part of the city, because I just love
that part. And there's also a big district with Japanese cuisine as well, because a lot of Japanese immigrants that came from Japan,
most Japanese immigrants do tend to come from Japan.
Usually, not all.
Some come from Tokyo.
Some spent a couple years in Hawaii. They came over.
Oh, I did enjoy Hawaii, but one thing I hope that San Francisco has, if for those who go there, if they have this Japanese area you're talking about there, is onigiri, which is it's like a triangle sushi. It's like almost like a sandwich version of sushi. It's wrapped up in seaweed.
It's almost like a pancake. It's almost like a dumpling. Right?
No. It's like a big triangle sushi.
Oh.
And they even have a little paper you pull out, because it keeps the seaweed and the seaweed paper and the sticky rice separate, so it doesn't wet the seaweed before you get a chance to eat it. It's called onigiri. It's absolutely amazing. We had that a lot in Hawaii and in Singapore, and there's also a place in New Jersey for people that are in Jersey, in Edgewater, called Mitsuwa, that sells it as well.
Yes.
Like Japanese food. Mitsuwa is amazing. The other thing is, there's a lot to do in San Francisco. First off, you notice this list. This is why San Francisco is on my list of places to go. Is if you like big wood, there's of course the Muir Woods National Monument there, which has
the big
redwoods. I mean, you're talking trees that are anywhere from 400 to 800 years old at this forest here, and it's about a 35-minute drive from everything I've seen from San Francisco there. That's what it says online. I wasn't there. You let me.
I've been there, and there's actually, if you go out there and see the redwoods,
or Arizona,
depends who's driving the time of day. I think it took me closer to an hour to get out there, but not with that traffic. But there is a tree out there that they call Abe Lincoln.
Yes, I've heard of that one.
And if you actually look at one of the roots, it looks like a penis.
Okay.
There's no innuendos there. That tree has some
innuendos in this episode in general.
No. The other thing is the actual real names of what I said. This tree looks like it has a penis.
But also, if you've seen the movie Planet of the Apes, that's where the apes were outside of San Francisco in those movies as well. Was this forest here? So, like I said, all depends on what you enjoy. Because the other thing you may very well enjoy is
interesting fact too about the big reds, as we're going to nerd out about everything, is that they actually have been doing research and they think some of the oldest living life in the world, besides the trees, is up at the top of the giant trees. Some of the biology, the little microorganisms.
The microorganisms.
So if you're a biologist, go out there.
Oh, yes. And if you're like me, you just enjoy drinking, there's
biologist.
also Napa Valley, which is only about an hour and a half or so from San Francisco as well. They have bus
You also
tours
got Pomona Valley.
like over the day.
Fantastic.
So if you enjoy wine, if you're a whiner,
Chino Valley is also not that far. So if you like beer, you want to go see Sierra Nevada. That is the Willy Wonka of breweries.
oh,
Because when I went out there, you have to get a pass to get in. It's not like New Jersey where you're like, oh, this is your brewery? Oh, everything's right back here? Cool. Can I get a flight? Out there, you get a pass. And you watch this 10 to 15-minute video about the history of Sierra Nevada and how it came to be. And they walk around and give everyone a pint. You drink a beer as you watch this video. And then they take you on a tour. And then they tell you that they're only allowed to serve you 2 drinks on the tour. So what they do is they give you only 2 pints. So what they do is they give you 8 2-ounce pours to sample every little thing that Sierra Nevada has. Well, not every, but what's seasonal at that time.
so what you're saying is you definitely want to ride to go to this one. You don't want to drive.
Yeah. Uber's expensive out there, so get a hotel.
All right. John also says, hey, Trekkie, which I'm assuming is because of my shirt here. Trekkie. Did you not see my other post of my friend? I can only say this: of all the souls I have encountered in my travels, he was the most human. I don't think I saw you post that. No, but that is a very famous quote, obviously there. But where'd you put it, John? Let us know where you put it, John. That sounded bad. Anyway, on to the next away game there, which is the one that I'm going to be going to. I'm hoping that Rob comes down as well for this one. October 8th, Miami Dolphins. And for those who are unaware of the climate here in Florida, October 8th is going to feel like most places early to late summer kind of situation. It's not going to be 110 degrees there in Florida still, but it's still going to be in the 80s. It's going to be perfect weather. I'm telling you, perfect weather. So Miami was a spot I was just at not too long ago even. So, things to do in Miami. Obviously, first, go to the beach. Go to the beach. Here's the one thing I'm going to give you a little caution on. For those that are going, though, keep an eye on the beach because there's an issue on the East Coast right now with seaweed. And it's literally filling up the entire shoreline. It's horrendous. If that's still going on, then if it's still going on, then you literally would have to trek through with a machete to get through the seaweed to get into the actual water. And as John also points out there, to check the weather reports because hurricane weather. Yeah, it is also hurricane season, so you do want to keep an eye out for that. Obviously, Miami's known for also South Beach and the clubs at night. So if you're someone who enjoys that kind of scene, that's definitely there.
Great food as well.
I was about to say it's the only place maybe in Florida that I could say is a foodie spot there. Cuban, Hispanic food like crazy.
I was about to say Cuban food's fantastic. I went to Havana 57 out there. Great spot. Havana 57, if you're listening, throw me a bone. Great. Fresh roll cigars too.
Yeah, if you like cigars, I mean, any place in South Florida, basically, Miami obviously included in that, you can get cigars that are literally rolled by people who were from Cuba, know the exact methods and family secrets of Cuban cigars there, and it's as close as you're going to get without going to Cuba or someplace where the embargo's not there.
Yeah, that, and you also besides the Cuban food and all that. I had a brain fart. I was going to go with all that. Talking about cigars.
He was thinking of tacos and cigars.
Yeah. Cigar City Brewery is what I was going to say.
That's in Tampa.
Cigar City?
Yes. I'm positive. Remember, I live in Tampa Bay.
Do they not have multiple breweries? Because I'm pretty sure I walked by Cigar City Brewery.
Not to the best of my knowledge. It is. I'm going to look it up now as we talk here. Cigar City, no. It's in Tampa. I just looked it up. Miami does not come up.
wrong in life.
If people want to come to Tampa, feel free. The Giants won't be there though.
Not this year.
Another thing that I'm going to give you guys a kind of an oddball one here, but it's a fun day for something to do. Bring your passports and go on a day cruise to Bimini, Bahamas. You can go to the Bahamas. You can spend a day in the Caribbean. They have ferries that go out there. There's always a Groupon. It's going to cost you some money. I'm not trying to say it's $20, but you're on vacation. Spend some money. Enjoy. Relax. You've earned it.
It's true.
So, it's probably going to cost you a couple $100 to go there, but it's the Bahamas. It's nice.
Bahama. Nice. Oh, pretty mama.
Let's see. John says, last time I was there, I cut up trees that fell on houses during Hurricane Andrew, I believe. The signs on lawns said, you will be shot if you come on property. Well, yeah, that's because there's a lot of looting during hurricanes. That's for sure. Spawn's coming on Twitch here, says, Detroit Lions better...
Then what?
Yeah. When's your last division title for the Lions? I'm not going to go.
I don't know if he was saying Detroit's better than Miami.
I think he's saying better than the Giants. That's why I'm asking that question. Because the last Lions division championship was, quite a long time ago. Yeah. Detroit has not won the NFC North since 1993. It's been 30 years. We've been to 3 Super Bowls since they won a division. Just saying. Oh, now he says on offense. Okay.
Isn't half your offense suspended?
Yeah. Want to gamble on it?
Yeah, I'll bet you on that.
See, John says, Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, which, by the way, I didn't put on the
list.
Not
far from Miami.
Key Largo is not far from Miami if you want to hop on the Keys point there.
I was going to go there as well. It's a 3.5 hour drive to Key West.
If you know Key West, probably 3 or 4 hours, but Key Largo's right there pretty much. Key Biscayne, which is the closest, which is the most northernmost key, is only accessible by going around to Miami, actually. And that's not far at all. So, like I said, enjoy the tropicalness of the area. And if you happen to know Spanish, you'll love it too, because like you can literally anywhere, like everybody pretty much speaks Spanish there. It's like it's literally like it's not even like the second language, it's like tied for the first language in that area. So
also make sure you go in October. Don't go in Memorial Day weekend like I went to Miami. Nope.
Yeah, I was like,
if you talk to any local, you never go there Memorial Day.
You don't go to holiday weekend in general, especially because that's what it
just worked out that way. And I was eating at a restaurant and we heard police sirens, loud noises, police sirens, and then we found out when I got back to the hotel that there was a shooting 2 blocks away from one of the teams.
Oh my. John says Florida Jets ... Keys. I think there was a joke in there somewhere I missed. Spawn's coming, says the Lions going to the Super Bowl this year. We stacked.
You stacked your bench with gamblers.
Yes, I'm just let's get in the postseason and then get excited. Just saying, skipping steps here. All right, on to steps. Next step here.
Said last year too?
We're going to Buffalo, October 15th. Buffalo,
home of the Wings.
The Buffalo Bills. Home of the Wings. I mean, is literally the place that set up the very first Buffalo wing spot. And that's why it's called a Buffalo wing. Obviously, buffaloes do not actually have wings. Unless you go to B-dubs, the ones there do.
Apparently.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You could also expect a lot of drunk fans jumping off roofs at the table.
Yes, all kinds of crazy stuff here. Now, most of I've been through Buffalo, and I'll be honest, it's one of those drabish kind of cities. Like, I don't want to be mean about it. Like, it's not a city that I would ever go, I want to go visit Buffalo.
I've known friends that went to Buffalo to go to the games, and they've had a great time.
Oh, listen,
I've never been there. I've drove kind of by it, never really been there. So just upstate New York to me is just kind of.
My whole thing, as I said, the people are always very nice there at that point when I was there. But the issue is just it's not a tourist city. So what I'm going to suggest is same as Miami, bring your passport. Let's go to Canada, because we got Niagara Falls, which, so for those who are unaware, Niagara Falls is the smaller of the two. They call it Niagara Falls, the area, but Niagara Falls is there. Horseshoe Falls is the one that most people, think of when they think of Niagara Falls. So go to the Canada side. It's a much nicer view. You get all the casinos and all. You can have all kinds of fun there. The other things you can do also is you can also take a wine tour on Niagara on the Lake, which is not that far from there. If you're going to stay on the Canada side, Niagara on the Lake is the place to be, by the way. It's not all touristy and crazy like Niagara Falls is at that point. It's a nice little... Are they
throwing a sponsorship that we don't know about?
What was that?
Are they throwing a sponsorship that I don't know about?
No, I wish they would. Niagara on the Lake, if you're interested.
Yeah.
It's 2 Giant Goofballs at mail.com. No, but it's a nice spot there overall. It's a nice little shopping area. You can walk up and down with restaurants and stuff like that too. There's also a fort that was an English fort in the War of 1812. And if you go there, you can actually see the American fort on the other side, which is kind of cool. And the nicest thing is there's also, again, if you enjoy alcohol, there's a lot of alcohol in these things here. About 80% of Canada's wine is grown in Niagara on the Lake. So you can go there and you can actually do the bike tours where you can go from winery to winery. And it's entertaining to watch people because you can tell how they're riding the bike.
How many wineries you went to?
Yes, what spot of the tour they are. So like I said, nice spot overall to go though. And like I said, gets you still where you can spend a little time in the area and enjoy the area without spending too much time in Buffalo, which like I said, unfortunately just doesn't have a ton to do like that, and it's not a disrespect to Buffalo, but the Canada side's nicer. It is. Plus you can stop at the duty-free shop on the way over and get some nice alcohol for home. I said duty. Yes, I did. For those of you going from the New York area as well, it is drivable as well. So if you want to do that, so New York City to Buffalo.
Oh, New York City.
That's what I'm doing right now. To keep it simple, since that's basically what we're kind of be the middle spot for people. Probably it's 6 hours and 15 minutes. It says here on Google. So I think for us it was about 7, but we did a couple stops. So you're going to stop at some point, unless you're one of those like people that drive on vacation like a trucker and just keep on going through and pee in a bottle.
Yeah, because I've known friends where we grew up that went to Montreal in 8 hours.
Yeah, I didn't go to Montreal. Montreal sounds good. But let's see here. We got a couple more comments here. Oh, John says Florida Keys is in the sing. Since we're singing, I think he means song. Song. Here goes song. He says, after the snow I've seen on TV in Buffalo, I'll never go there. You should be.
I don't really blame you.
You should be.
But this time of year, you should be all right. But it's also Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's why the Buffalo needs to have wings to get out.
And there's your dad, Rob.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, guys. What's up?
Then missed the Arizona talk.
Yeah, it did him. I mean, it's true. We could have asked him to give some comments. So it's not too late if you want to give some comments on things to do in Arizona, since you live there.
Glendale.
We're discussing, though, obviously, a little bit further from your neck of the woods, though. Glendale, Phoenix area there. John also says, thank God for alcohol for these boring trips. Yeah, honey, this is great. Chug, chug. Wow. That's only when you go to the art exhibits, John.
That's like art right there.
Yeah. All right. So after Buffalo, we take a little bit of a home streak there. No, we don't really have away game here for quite a while. We have another month before we go on the road again for November 5th against the Las Vegas Raiders.
The
Raiders. And I feel like there's not really too much we need to say on this because it's Vegas,
baby.
It's Vegas. I think everybody knows what you do in Vegas, right? You eat and you gamble. You walk around and enjoy.
Depends on the people. Some people like brothels. Some people like the bunny ranch. Some people like going to church out there.
Maybe you can go with Jimmy G.
There's a nice vegan restaurant out there. I went there with my dad. Right.
But yeah, I mean that's basically what it is, though. It's
Exactly.
food. It shows it's gambling. That's what it is. There's also Red Rock Canyon right outside of Las Vegas as well. If you want to get back into the red rocks of the desert and stuff like that, enjoy that kind of stuff. Nice place to go hiking. Again, if you didn't go to Arizona, you can now do the helicopter tour over to the
Get to the chopper. Look at the canyon. Look at my hole.
It is not the Tuma.
It's a giant hole, not the Tuma.
If you enjoy nature overall as well, you can hop on a car there, 2.5 hour to drive over to Zion National Park, which is in Utah. Gorgeous place. If you're afraid of heights, you will not enjoy this. Just giving that as a fair warning, because it's mountainous, but it's beautiful. It's something called the Weeping Rocks, where you're like in a cave area there, but you're right there. It's not like you're going down into the cave. You're like right at the opening, and water literally comes through the rock, and it like rains on you in the cave. It's really cool. But like I said, beautiful place. Just Google it. You'll see the pictures and see what I mean. On the way over there, you also drive over the Hoover Dam. So if you want to see the Hoover Dam, but don't be bored by a 3-hour tour of how hydroelectricity works, you can just drive over it. It's kind of cool. When you do that, though, keep an eye on your temperature gauge in your car if your car has one. Because one thing that's kind of cool is it will literally go like 5-10 degrees warmer as you're driving over the bridge from the amount of heat this dam gives up, which is kind of cool because keep in mind, you're already in Nevada. It's not like it's 30 degrees. It's already 100. It just goes up to 110. Actually, November it might be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
November might
Let's hope you have AC.
Because November at that point, you got to think it's cooling down a little bit. But
it's probably still like in the 80s, but it's all dry heat, so it feels like to us like 65.
You know what? Actually, November, I'm looking at here. The average high is 70. The average low is 35. It really already has gone down pretty low at that point. That's pretty crazy. I'm used to Florida heat where it just doesn't stop.
And humid.
But that actually sounds like really nice weather to walk around and do things in. So, that makes Vegas seem like more of an attractive place to go. All right. Next up, the following week we go November 12th to Dallas to face the Cowboys. And I got to say, I'm looking at stuff to do in Dallas for this episode. Dallas is one place I have not been to. And you know what kept on coming up over and over again, which is kind of scary if this is your biggest tourism thing you have. JFK assassination tours.
Was it July 7th? Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, that's the best thing you got, Dallas.
Right in the square.
So I'm going to suggest also it's Texas. So you got to do two things while you're in Texas. You got to go find a rodeo. And you got to line dance. You got to have a barbecue. You got to have some barbecue there because Texas is one of the places known for barbecue. You also have to piss on the stadium.
You can defecate on the stadium too. That takes a little longer, but you can do that as well.
Right, Jerry Jones.
Bring your own toilet paper.
No, but all seriousness, I've never been to Dallas myself. You haven't been to Dallas either, Robbie, have you? I think you said you were stopped in at one point.
Yeah, I've flown through it. Like, I had family from there. I've stopped there for like a day when I was doing like the Houston thing. But you're still talking hours between the cities. Like, Texas is a humongous state.
Oh, man.
So it's not like people will complain about driving from, we'll say, Newark to Atlantic City, double that drive, and then some, and that's your drive from Houston to Dallas, and that's not even half the state.
Yeah. I mean, but everything I see doesn't look like there's really much in Dallas. So
there's some good eats out there. It's a lower key, bigger city.
But I'm saying like tourism things to do. Like, we're talking about seeing tourism kind of things here. Everything I've seen is kind of like, go check out this building, go to this museum, like the typical things that every goddamn city in this country has. Come on, Dallas. Step up your game. Step up your game,
Dallas. If you're going to a museum and see what happened in Dallas, is that part of the touristy thing to do because you're from out of town?
I'm just saying, like that's what they do. It's apparently, and again, the JFK assassination. Literally, I'm looking it up. I was seeing like there's ones where you can go in a car. They take you to spots. There's one on Segway. There's one on
Taking the
bicycle.
same car.
There's walking tours. I mean, there's so many goddamn JFK tours. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like
To the building where Lee Harvey Oswald was at.
The book depository.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's like, this is what you're known for? Seriously? The president, can you imagine here, like, come visit Dallas. A president got shot here. What the hell?
3 lines below. Dallas Cowboys play right outside of here.
That's
Big
it.
screen TV.
Oh, my gosh.
Giant.
Let's go on. Next week, we go to an actual NFC East rival that actually has things to do in their city.
It's a great city. First time I had swarm.
Really is. The Washington Commanders. And
not the Washington State Commanders, the Washington, D.C. Commanders.
No matter what you see in coffee mugs.
Yeah.
So this is a spot, to be very frank, you don't have to necessarily travel for like that. Like you don't have to make it an actual vacation. You can just go down for a day because it's 3-4 hours away from, depending on where you're at in the New York area there. But
I do recommend getting a hotel though, because it is depending on where you are, 3-4 hours after a 3-4 hour game. Mm-hmm. That's 12 hours. If you're pre-gaming and doing what you gotta do,
you probably
want to take a nap.
Post-game,
probably want to take a nap. Yeah, probably want to take a nap before you go hit the road.
I'll say this though: get a hotel as well, just because you should enjoy some DC. DC is one of those cities that I always felt is underrated. So, for those who are unaware and haven't gone, the Smithsonian museums around the mall and everywhere around the city, none of the fantastic. They're goddamn free. The cheapskate in me loves DC.
And I mean, they ask you to donate if you can, but you said like you could go to the Space and Articles Museum, which is fantastic. You see all the stuff that happened with Apollo missions in there.
Oh yeah,
you go to the national
planes all above you and stuff like that in the building. Like it's absolutely amazing. You get the Spirit of St. Louis there and all. It's like amazing.
Yeah, when they used to spend a capsule for one of the lunar projects, like what kind of infrastructure you have to hold that thing up?
Now, me, I'm a history buff. I love history stuff. So if you go to the Smithsonian Museum of American History, you literally walk in, and there's a room you go into, and there is the flag that Francis Scott Key was looking at when he wrote the Star Spangled Banner.
Brings us to my every time.
Freaking A. That's history. They have stuff everywhere at that museum. I just bring that one up because it's like a huge thing that literally the second you walk in, there it is. You got the table that they literally signed the surrender from the South when they lost the Civil War. I mean, you're talking like there's such amazing history. There's different stuff that like military uniforms that George Washington wore during the American Revolution. I mean, there's so many museums here, and I don't want to just focus on the one that just happens to be my favorite one there. But you're talking the Smithsonian museums overall are just absolutely amazing. It's the best museums you will ever have in the entire
They're so good they made 3 movies with Ben Stiller about them.
And if you enjoy it a lot, you also can do guided tours. There's people that do guided tours to actually walk you through these kind of things as well. There's 17 museums in the city that are 100% free through the Smithsonian. There's the National Museum of Natural History, which that's also a fun one. You mentioned already the National Air and Space Museum, National Museum of American History, the National Zoo, the Smithsonian Institute building, which is a big old castle. I've never been in that one, but it looks really cool from the outside.
Yes, the
National Air and Space Museums, the American Art Museum and Redwick Gallery, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, National Museum of American and Indian. There's a Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden, which I haven't been to that one. Now I want to go see that.
Yeah,
the National Portrait Gallery, the National Museum of Asian Art, the Anacostia Community Museum, the National Museum of African Art, the National Postal Museum. I mean, there's so many museums here that are all free. Go do it. Enjoy it. Live a little.
It's fantastic.
Free.
When I went down to DC, I spent the week in there, and I didn't have enough time to get through all the museums.
Oh yeah.
And it's been a while since I've been to DC because I went the year after. At the time, the team formerly known as the Redskins were in the playoffs, and RG3 jacked up
Playoffs.
Playoffs, and then they tanked it down. But it also impressed me because they were so impressed with RG3 that they built a statue of this guy
after one
his
year.
Rookie year. No, not even after 1 year, because if it was somebody did his leg, it would have been done. So there you go for this guy who wasn't even playing for him because his knee was so jacked up. And I think I went at the game against the San Diego Chargers at the time. It was November around this time.
So many things have differed. That's like a historical game already.
I had a Philip Rivers jersey on just because I used to collect jerseys.
This is back when he only had 7 children.
Yeah, maybe 6.5.
Philip Rivers, not Rob, for the record.
Yeah. I got none that I know of. But
making sure your dad's listening. Got to make sure he doesn't get worried.
As I was walking into the stadium, everyone that was a Washington fan, they're like, "Oh, Philip Rivers is a great quarterback. Oh, that's a great club you guys got. This and that." Well, San Diego lost, and as I walked out, their attitude completely flipped.
Oh yeah, because they winning. They didn't expect to win.
Pretty much. Go back to San Diego. I'm like, I'm from New Jersey.
So, one bit of culinary advice I'm going to give you all if you go there. There's a restaurant I'm going to highly recommend. It's called Founding Farmers, and it is owned by a group of farmers out in the Dakotas, and they literally overnight everything. They even make the syrup for the sodas in-house. That's how farm to table this place is. It's not far from the White House, so it's in that neck of the woods there. So definitely check it out. It's called Founding Farmers. If you're looking also for somewhere to stay that's just outside of Washington itself, look at the town of Alexandria, Virginia. Old Town Alexandria, Virginia is amazing. The buildings are all still with the 1800s. It's a great place, again, to do pub crawls and ghost tours and that kind of stuff if you enjoy that kind of stuff. Obviously, DC gets a little bit of a bad rap from as far as the safety aspect. So this is a town that you won't have that issue with. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
These houses go for over $1 million a piece. This is a very expensive real estate. Trust me, there's no issues going on there. The police keep it very secure because and
it's like a 15-minute train ride, right? 15 minutes, I think, for a train ride.
It's really, really close by, and you go on King Street at the very end of King Street, where it's just the main road there in Alexandria. There is a train right there that you can get to DC, and it's very simple to get to everything. So, like I said, definitely recommended. It's a great place. Let's see, let's go through some of the comments too. We can go through some of the comments yet. John says, "What's up, Daddy?" to your daddy.
Who's your daddy? What does he do?
John says, "On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I live is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again." I was unaware that John was actually Willie Nelson. I thought that.
Yeah.
And we're talking about it's not a Tuma thing before. He says, "It's not that Amani Tuma." Your dad chimes in with Arizona here. He says, "There's lots of cool rock hiking trails close by along Colorado River that are cool." And yeah, that's the thing you hear always, people in the West are like that, in like Arizona, Colorado, places like that, New Mexico. It's hiking and enjoying the rocks, which just, it sounds boring on paper, but it's actually pretty cool to do. It really is. It's one of those things that it's a lot more fun than it sounds. Like, let's go walking around and look at rocks.
Yeah, it's a little different. And also, there's a lot of streams out there that you could kayak down.
Don't cross the stream.
You could kayak down, but it is recommended to take an inflatable kayak.
Oh, we got rafting there, huh? Little whitewater?
No, not rafting. It's like kayaking. You get an inflatable kayak.
So
I have smaller. This way,
are you saying size?
It's a lot easier. Oh, it does matter. Smaller is better at this point.
All right, let's see. John also says, "Time to go to the Bunny Ranch in Las Vegas and get a load off."
Hang out with Jimmy G. String.
John says, what I missed, I fell asleep when Drew kept talking about history. LOL. Let's the movie like Patriot with Mel Gibson. We were soldiers of Braveheart. I get sleepy. LOL. Wow.
Yeah, and those movies were terrible at telling history.
John Anderson says, founding farters? I think my great grandfather started that. No, founding farmers, not farters. Farmers, like Farmer and the Dell.
I'm sure those farmers farted too.
I'm sure they did. They probably did.
Don't be biased.
I know the cows definitely did. A lot of methane in the air. All right, we got 2 more spots to go here. So we got another little stretch there with that an away game for a while. We said the last one was November. Now we're going into December 17th. The New Orleans Saints. And
Diamonds.
that's a city that you can have some fun in. Now, especially depending on your age. I'm going to word it that way. Because I feel like I went there a few years ago, and I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more in my 20s. Like, if you enjoy getting drunk and rowdy and puking in the streets, this is the city for you.
I was about to say, Bourbon Street smells like bourbon and vomit.
So, yeah, that's okay. We're going to go with that right off the bat. Do not stay on Bourbon Street. I don't care if you want to hang out on Bourbon Street, go get rowdy on Bourbon Street. It's a great place to get rowdy. They don't care what you do. As long as you don't beat somebody or anything like that, you're good.
If you want to sleep by midnight, you are.
It's not even the sleep thing. I had no problem going to sleep when we were on Bourbon Street. The issue was every single morning they power wash the street. And the smell comes right into your room. And it is the worst smell you will ever smell. It is horrendous because that's how bad the city gets, that they have to power wash the street every morning. It's also like a little bit of a pain in the
vomit and stomach acid.
It's also a little bit of a pain in the butt if you're going to do any kind of Ubering to places as well, because of the fact that they shut down Bourbon Street to cars during certain times of the day. They also shut it down where they don't want people going to certain parts overall of the French Quarter. So keep an eye on that map if you're somebody who wants to get out of there and go to different places. But I mean, honestly, the big thing is go to the French Quarter, just walk around, eat, and eat. Shrimp and grits, absolutely amazing. Jambalaya, absolutely amazing. It is a thing you have to do when you go to New Orleans, to go to Café du Monde, which is right there in French Quarter, for beignets, which of course is something New Orleans is famous for. Also the coffee. So coffee in New Orleans is done a little different. They put chicory in it. So one thing they used to do, I'm going to go a little history, John. John's going to fall asleep again. When they were rationing things back during, I think it was World War II. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on which war it is, but the rest of it I know for sure.
They rationed all the wars, but
yeah,
they're probably for World War II.
But they were rationing coffee. So what they started doing was putting chicory into it.
Where Cup of Joe. That's where Cup of Joe came from.
So they were actually they were putting chicory into it to go ahead and be able to have more coffee to use at that point. And it became a thing. People enjoyed the flavor so much, it became a thing they just do in New Orleans. So Café du Monde, like I said, is the name of the one that's well known. It's a very touristy thing. It's cash only. It's a little sloppy.
It's only 5
so many tourists. It's not even funny. And on top of that, though, one nice thing is when I went there myself, there was a brass band that just walked by and sort of doing their thing for all of us out there as well, too. That is true. When they talk about the brass bands randomly coming by and playing music, that's legit, and it's really cool.
Well, that's another thing about New Orleans, too. The music history out of there in Louisiana is amazing. Like jazz and blues, they're all like the history that comes out of there with the music. Without New Orleans, we probably wouldn't have good old rock and roll today as it is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a city that randomly parades just go by at random times for no apparent reason and stuff like that too. Like, it's a cool spot. It really is. Like I said, you just got to be cautious on what you want to do based on what you enjoy doing. Yeah.
There's a lot of history.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing.
Not for John, but
here's the crazy thing. What kind of architecture is the French Quarter?
That's Spanish.
It's Spanish. It is, because it was originally French. It was actually given to Spain for a little while, and most of it burned down. The Spanish had to go ahead and rebuild it. It went back to French hands, and then got sold to Americans. Yes, 100%. French had it first. Is what I was. Listen, I was in New Orleans.
The Native Americans had it first.
Okay, stop. You know what I mean. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
You want to go there? The volcanoes had it first. Okay.
The deer and the buffalo had it first.
The other thing is, of
Giant
course,
sloth.
if you enjoy ghost tours, this is the spot for ghost tours.
They say it's the #1 haunted city in America, right?
That's what they say.
You believe in all that hoobity joobity.
So if you are a fan of the show American Horror Story, they did a whole storyline with Kathy Bates as a character in it about this rich woman who was basically killing slaves and torturing them and doing all kinds of horrendous things. That's a legit story, and that's a legit house. That used to be owned by Nicolas Cage, by the way.
That guy used to buy anything. That's why he acts in anything he get into.
Actually, dude, that's why. No, he's there because of tax issues. He got caught after buying this house, actually, and they say this house is haunted, and anybody who buys it gets something really bad happen to them. That was what they said happened to bad Nicolas Cage because he bought it. But yeah, the house is still around, but they'll tell you all kinds of stories and stuff like that about it. It's kind of fun. We took actually 2 different ghost tours when we were there in New Orleans, and they told the same story different ways. And what I mean by that is one of them was wrong or they were both wrong. Like they gave facts that were contrary to the other one. So just do one. It ruins the experience.
I mean, the ghost story, it's a little bit of a myth going on. So what happens in mythos? They always change too.
No, but some of it is true. Like the one with this woman that I was saying that was had the house in New Orleans there that was an American Horror Story. That's a legit story.
100%. Oh no, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying like you have it's hearsay, but like so yeah, the lady had tortured slaves, did whatever. Someone on one side of town could have said it one way, and the other person on the other town said it another way, and it spread off, and they both could be wrong, but the story could be right.
Yeah.
If you know, yeah.
Now, for Giants fans, if you take the tour of New Orleans as well, sometimes they will also pass you by the house that Eli and Peyton grew up in. That is right there in downtown New Orleans. So I did see that on my trip. Also, check out the Garden District. It's a beautiful area. Drew Brees is probably not there anymore. He probably has a house still there to show up for events, but that's probably it. Jameis Winston's probably renting his house out now. But beautiful place, guys. It's a really nice place, and like I said, some of the best food you'll find in this entire country. So enjoy if you go, because New Orleans is a really cool place. Next up, we have one more spot. And if you know our divisional rivals, you'll know there's one spot we haven't listed yet that's in our division. Yes.
Smell of
Smell of what?
Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
Yes, we go to Philadelphia on Christmas, which is just a weird time to go traveling for a game. And obviously, it's also very close to home for a lot of y'all, so you can just go there for the day. But as much as we disrespected a little bit Dallas, because we kind of did. I did, at least. Philadelphia is actually not a bad
cool spot.
Yeah, it's not a bad city.
I used to loathe Philadelphia because the first 3 times we went there, tickets for
I mean,
unpaid parking meter for lessons. I ran up. It's like they waited over my car. So make sure you overpay your tickets or your meters, because an extra quarter to 50 cents is going to save you $55.
Yeah, I'd find a place to park for the day and stay there.
Yeah,
I'll say that. So obviously, the first thing people think about when they go into Philadelphia is cheesesteaks. So you got to go have some cheesesteaks. The place that most people will go to for cheesesteaks is Pat's and Geno's, which are literally right next to each other.
Talk to the locals.
I was going to say the locals.
But
the
locals
will definitely tell you not to do it, because the locals know that that's just not where you want to go. It's not. That's where the tourists go. So talk to the locals. They'll know where. We're not locals. We don't know.
Yeah. But last time I was in Philly, that's literally what I said. I had to spend a week for work out there, 2015, 2016, and I had to do a class with 3 guys from Philly in Philadelphia. So we went out for lunch every day for 5 days. And like, where y'all want to go? I'm like, do you take me to get a Philly cheesesteak that's not Patagino's?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
2 of them looked at each other like, oh, you got to go here. No, you got to go here. I'm like, all right,
they'll
we'll go
argue.
here today. We go there tomorrow.
If you ever want to find out if somebody actually is from Philadelphia, you just ask them Pats or Geno's. When they say neither, you know they're legit.
Yeah.
That's the true way of knowing if they're actually from there.
No, they weren't arguing about Patagino's. They like,
oh no,
they were
that's what I'm
arguing
saying.
about the small spot to go to.
You'll say Pats or Geno's, and then they'll give you a look like, what the hell? Because nobody
Yeah.
actually from Philadelphia goes there. That is the tourist spot. That's all it is. The second thing, of course, that most people think about when they think of Philadelphia. The biggest
Their biggest sports hero has to be
ever.
after a movie star.
The Rocky statue, which is of course resides at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It's no longer at the top of the famous Rocky Steps.
They keep changing it though.
They do. They do. They really should just put it there already. I don't know why they don't. They really should just put it there. Whatever reason, they decided against it there. Philadelphia also is an excellent place overall for food. It's much like New York, and as far as that, like any kind of food you want, it's going to be there.
There's a lot of great food out there.
Yes.
I have to go out sadly to Philadelphia area, Camden area for work a lot, and my God, all the restaurants out there.
Yeah,
so good Italian food, good sushi, good cheesesteaks, obviously, but steaks, great steaks out there.
Now I want to try Italian sushi. Like, how cool would it be instead of seaweed? It was like the pasta is like twirled around it, like almost like a little mini lasagna, like a mini lasagna. Right? Oh yes, I want Italian sushi now. Anyway, history.
Let's wrapped up with a little bit of capers.
let's bore John again. It's history time. We can't forget Independence Hall. I mean, you literally got the spot where they
you got to ring that bell
of independence. You got the Liberty Bell, which I still don't get why this bell is so important. I'm sorry, this is a defective bell. That's what it is. It's a defective bell, and it's not even the original bell because they melted it down and recasted it so many times. It's not even funny because it kept cracking. I don't get the importance of it, but it's there. I've seen it multiple times. The one nice thing also that I always say about Philadelphia is they do have a very nice zoo. If you enjoy zoos, they have a very nice zoo.
They do.
Yeah. Have we got a zoo? And I'm telling you, it's the world's largest menagerie. No one gets the Disney reference. What the hell? Wow. Do Aladdin here. No one even picks up. But yeah, they have a lot of nice stuff at that zoo as well. It's one of the nicer zoos in this country. So if you like that kind of stuff as well, that's there. You got the Betsy Ross house. You know, people tend to like
a flag there.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice little tourist trap thing. It's not too big. It's not too expensive. Just go there, give them your $20 and leave.
Pretty much. If you like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The original bar where they film it is there, and their corporate bar is also there.
Yeah, see, I never watched one episode of that show.
I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons.
I think they're on episode 700.
I don't know if they're that far. I think it's like season 12 or something. 11. But
ridiculous.
The last episode I watched was actually where they went to the Jersey Shore.
Oh, the Jersey Shore.
And Danny DeVito, they went on a day cruise. Instead of him buying alcohol on the boat because he said it's too expensive, he marinated ham and like 2 gallons of rum. And keep the ham drunk.
We're losing you there, Rob. He marinated a ham, I heard.
He marinated the ham in rum.
Oh, God.
This way, in like 2 gallons of it. This way, every time he would eat it, he would get drunk to take a shot.
By the way, 16 seasons there's been, and there's already a 17th one is already on the way as well. So, yeah, that's going to be a show that's like The Simpsons, just never ends. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, guys, so that's our last one of our away games there, depending on what happens with the postseason, of course.
And there's to be announced
So I'm saying 2BA. TBA there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know, guys, places that you like as far as these in the comments section. Let us know if there's what spots you're going to as well. I mean, let's see. We got some goofballs that are going to the same games at that point. Get together, enjoy. Let us know. Send us pics. Love that kind of stuff there. Let's see here. We do have a couple more comments here before we go on from John. John says, "Don't cross the streams. I'm talking to you and Roberto when peeing." Hold on. I just caught his wording. I'm talking to you and Roberto when peeing. Why are you on the phone with watching videos and commenting while you're peeing?
Yeah.
Let's see. John says the reason it's at the bottom is because drunks would climb it and fall down the rocky stairs. That's more reason to put it up higher. I'm sorry.
That'd be great. Actually, have you ever seen those stairs? The movies make it look like it is tedious to get up there.
Well,
pretty sure my 84-year-old grandmother could walk up the stairs faster than Rocky did in the movies.
I've never been to the museum there. I've never even seen the Rocky statue. So,
well, outside the library where he ran up, it's only like 6 steps.
But here's the thing, though, isn't that the entrance to the building? So obviously not going to make the entrance of the building strenuous to go up.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's no one's falling backwards off those.
Are you saying a movie was honest?
Yes.
Was Rocky Balboa not even a boxer?
Any smart ref would have called that fight in the 3rd round. See that eye. Got to cut me, Nick. Get out of here. That's a TKO. Get out of here.
Rocky Balboa would know because he was also a judge later on in life. In the future, he was Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
I am the law. All right, guys. So yeah, like I said, I know I'll be going to the Miami game. I wouldn't mind going to the New Orleans game too, but that depends on money and all that kind of fun stuff there. But that'd be nice to go to as well. It's close enough for me as well to go to. It's only like an hour and a half flight to go to New Orleans. So who knows? I'll do at least Miami game. We'll see if I can make it maybe to the New Orleans game too. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, let us know. Like I said, let us know which ones you're going to. Let us know what you like doing in these cities. We want to hear from you guys there. And of course, like I said, Giant fans, we'll be back on Monday for you guys. As always, we're on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see what we do on Monday because I'll tell you, people keep talking more and more about the Saquon stuff. So we might do one more episode on Saquon, even though we're trying not to give too much attention to Saquon because in the end, it's all BS. He's going to be there week 1. I have no concern about that whatsoever. But there's a lot of stories still. Him in his interview dressed up as a bumblebee and all that kind of stuff.
Bumblebee.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens here. Still a lot of rumors of people talking about Dalvin Cook as well. I'm sorry, guys, that's ridiculous. Dalvin Cook is not coming here. So, like I said, we may have an episode on that. I don't want to talk too much on it though, because of the fact that, like I said, most of it is BS and just posturing more than anything else. So
rumor has it.
Yep. So we'll see what happens from there. We may do our safety episode. We may do our linebacker episode. We may do an episode on Saquon. We may do something completely different. We're going to see it happens this weekend here. So we'll be back either way the Monday. And of course, obviously, we are live always on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile. Oh yes.
Great view.
Bro. And of course, we're also on afterwards. If you're not able to watch live, you can watch the replays. Best place to watch the replays is YouTube, because we can cut out, usually by the next day, we'll cut out the 5-minute intro that we do and all that kind of stuff there while we're setting up. And of course, guys, we're available on all the audio podcast platforms later on, usually about an hour or two after the show's over. That's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio. We're on like 20 different platforms overall. So whichever one you use to listen to stuff, we're probably on it. And if we're not, switch over. You're on the wrong one.
Yeah.
So just search the number 2 Giant Goofballs. 2 Giant Goofballs here. We'll be there. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys listening in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys on Monday. And of course, enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Hydrate. It seems like it's pretty warm up there. Actually, today I heard it's kind of mild.
No, I mean,
it's rainy tomorrow.
What it was mid-80s today, humid.
Yeah.
Got a little rain.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get some thunderstorms possibly again.
There we go. When the
July weather.
And the lightning strikes.
Thunder rolls.
Boom, boom, boom.
We're going to Tennessee now.
All right, guys. So we'll see you again Monday. Take it easy. And as always, Giant fans,
Go Giants!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?